What if the greatest spiritual paradox of your life isn't found in an ancient text, but in the sound of your child's laughter mixed with the exhaustion in your own bones? For centuries, sages have revealed that the most challenging soul bonds are not a karmic punishment, but a sacred appointment. In this video, we will unlock what they discovered and reveal the profound purpose behind your unique and demanding journey. Are you simply raising a child? Or are you being initiated by a master? There is a sacred paradox known to every parent who walks a spiritual path. It lives in the quiet hours of the night, in the space between the mundane and the mystical. It is the feeling of performing the most ordinary of human tasks, preparing a meal, reading a bedtime story, soothing a fever, while simultaneously feeling the pull of an extraordinary ancient connection to the small being before you. You are a caregiver, yes, but you are also a guardian of a mystery. This tension, this feeling of being stretched between two worlds, is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is the undeniable evidence that you are standing on holy ground. It is the point of friction where the soul's real work begins. We are taught to seek peace and harmony, but the greatest sages knew that spiritual growth is rarely born from comfort. It is forged in fire. And for many of us, that fire is the intense, demanding, and utterly transformative bond with our child. Modern psychology has a name for a curious pattern in the human soul. It is called compulsive repetition. It is the unconscious tendency to find ourselves in the same challenging situations, with the same kinds of people, feeling the same old wounds over and over again. It is not a glitch in our design. It is the psyche's relentless, brilliant attempt to heal itself. It keeps recreating the original wound, not to torment us, but to finally give us the opportunity to face it, to understand it, and to integrate it with love and wisdom. Karma, in its most profound and misunderstood form, operates with this same divine intelligence. It is not a cosmic system of punishment and reward. It is a universal law of learning and balancing. The soul does not seek to punish itself for past mistakes. It seeks to learn the lessons it missed. And so, it masterfully arranges the circumstances of our lives to bring us face to face with our own unfinished curriculum. And in this grand classroom of life, there is no more potent or perfectly designed opportunity than the arrival of a child. The soul of your child does not arrive by accident. It arrives as an appointment. It arrives as a key, perfectly and precisely cut to fit the one lock inside of you that you have been unable to open on your own. Their personality, their challenges, their very essence, is often a perfectly calibrated instrument designed to resonate with your deepest, most sacred wound. So we must begin this journey by asking a different question. The exhausted mind asks, why is this so difficult? Why is this happening to me? But the soul, awakening to its purpose, asks something else entirely. It asks, what is the sacred purpose living inside of this difficulty? What is this beautiful soul trying to help me heal? Because the wound they touch is not a flaw, it is a doorway. It is the sacred entry point through which a deeper love and a more profound wisdom are waiting to be born. It is a bond forged not in ease, but in the holy fire of transformation. The ancient art of alchemy was never truly about turning lead into gold. That was a metaphor for the real work, the transformation of the human soul. The alchemists knew that for any substance to be purified, it must be placed in a crucible and subjected to an intense, transformative fire. It is in the crucible that the raw, heavy, and impure elements are burned away, revealing the luminous, precious essence within. The sages of ancient India revealed a profound truth. Your family is this alchemical crucible. The bond you share with your child, especially a bond of great intensity and challenge, is the fire. And your karma is the raw material. Specifically, what the Vedas call prarabdha karma, that portion of your soul's history that has been allotted to be experienced and resolved in this lifetime. In this sacred laboratory, courageous souls often take on the most difficult assignments. They agree to enter the crucible with a heavy karmic load, not as a punishment, but as a profound act of spiritual ambition. They choose to face the fire so that they might transmute the dense lead of many lifetimes into the radiant gold of self-realization, all within a single, concentrated existence. From this perspective, your child is never your burden. They are not the source of your karmic test. They are your primary alchemical partner. They have agreed to stand in the fire with you. To understand how this works, we must understand the concept of samskaras. Imagine that your soul carries subtle, energetic imprints from its vast journey through time. These are the samskaras' dormant patterns, unresolved emotions, and deep-seated beliefs that lie sleeping within you. They are often invisible to us in our daily lives. But then, a soul arrives with a very specific key. The personality of your child, their unique challenges, their very way of being in the world, is often the one instrument in the universe perfectly tuned to resonate with your deepest samskaras. Their presence doesn't create the issue. It lovingly, and sometimes painfully, reveals what was already there, bringing it to the surface to finally be seen and healed. The ancient epics are not merely stories. They are psychological maps of the soul, left for us as a guide. In the great Hindu epic, the Mahabharata, we are given a timeless and cautionary tale in the figure of King Dhritarashtra. He was born blind, but his true tragedy was his metaphorical blindness. He refused to see the deep flaws in his own sons, to acknowledge the darkness they carried. This refusal to look into the mirror they presented, this clinging to his own unresolved personal karma of attachment, did not just lead to his own sorrow, it led to the ruin of an entire kingdom. This ancient story is a stark reminder from the sages. The mirror our child holds up for us is not a judgment. It is a grace. To turn away from it, to refuse to see the reflection of our own unhealed parts, is to choose the path of suffering. To bravely look into that mirror, however painful, is to choose the path of transformation. And so, we are left with a profound question. If the fire of this bond is here to purify, if the challenges are here to heal the deepest imprints of the soul, then what kind of sacred agreement must be made for a soul to voluntarily enter such a crucible? Imagine holding a geode in your hands. On the outside, it is a rough, unremarkable stone. But when you crack it open, you find a breathtaking cavern of amethyst crystals shimmering with a deep purple light. From the outside, you see only the limitation of the rock. From the inside, you see a cathedral of beauty. The mystics of the Sufi tradition revealed that some of the most advanced souls choose to enter this life within what we might call an amethyst cage. To the world, it may look like a prison, a body with severe limitations, a mind that works in a different way, a life bound by challenge. But from the perspective of the soul, it is a vessel of immense spiritual beauty and vibrant light, chosen for a very specific and noble purpose. This choice, the Sufis tell us, was made in a moment of pure clarity. They speak of a day of the covenant, a pre-eternal moment when all souls stood in the presence of the divine and were shown a glimpse of their potential destinies. In that sacred moment, the most courageous souls, overflowing with love, did not choose the easiest paths. They chose the paths of greatest service. They saw the amethyst cages not as burdens, but as opportunities to teach the most profound lesson of all, that true freedom is not of the body, but of the spirit. The great Sufi poet Rumi, a sage who understood the landscape of the soul better than any other, gave us a key to understanding this. He famously wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." We often think of this as a beautiful metaphor for our own struggles. But what if it is also a literal description of a soul's sacred strategy? What if the difficulty of your child, the very thing that the world might see as a flaw or a wound, is in fact the designated opening, the precise and perfect channel through which a greater light, a deeper grace, and a more profound love can pour into the life of your entire family? And here is where the ancient mystic and the modern psychologist unexpectedly meet. In the field of psychology, there is a well-documented phenomenon known as post-traumatic growth. Researchers have consistently found that human beings who endure the most profound adversities do not merely survive them. Many of them experience a radical deepening of character. They report a greater appreciation for life, a stronger sense of purpose, more meaningful relationships, and a profound expansion of their spiritual awareness. Is this not the exact curriculum a soul would choose if its goal was rapid evolution? The soul, in its infinite wisdom, knows that comfort rarely leads to transformation. It knows that it is the pressure of the earth that creates the diamond. The soul of your child is not a victim of circumstance. They are a spiritual strategist of the highest order, and their life is a masterclass in post-traumatic growth, offered to you and to the world. This leads us to a new level of understanding, and a new question that echoes through the halls of eternity. If the soul chose its beautiful cage, and it chose you as its loving guardian, then what is the contract that binds you? What sacred agreement unites not just the two of you, but your entire family history, stretching back through time? Imagine a magnificent tapestry woven over generations. It tells the story of your family. It holds their triumphs, their joys, their strengths. But woven into this tapestry are also threads of a darker color, unresolved griefs, unspoken traumas, patterns of fear or anger that repeat themselves generation after generation. These are the energetic chains of a family's history. The ancient Kabbalists, the mystics of the Jewish tradition, revealed a profound secret about the soul's journey. They taught that a soul does not incarnate into a family by chance. It arrives with a purpose, and often a very special soul arrives as what we can only call the chain breaker. This soul chooses to embody the family's deepest wound. It manifests in its very being, the physical or emotional expression of the primary trauma that has bound the lineage for centuries. To the uninitiated eye, this child might appear to be the problem, the source of the family's struggle. But the sages saw the deeper truth. This soul is not the problem, it is the designated solution. It is the liberator. And you, the parent, you are not a victim of this difficult circumstance. You are the guardian of the chain breaker. You are the co-signatory on this sacred contract of healing. Your soul agreed to this role because it was recognized that you possessed the latent strength, the hidden courage, and the deep well of love required for this monumental task. In our modern world, this ancient wisdom is now being validated from a surprising source. The emerging science of epigenetics has shown that trauma can leave a chemical marker on our DNA, an energetic signature that can be passed down through generations. A groundbreaking author and therapist, Mark Wallen, wrote a book that perfectly bridges this gap between science and spirit. Its title is a revelation in itself. It didn't start with you. His clinical work provides a stunning, verifiable framework for the mystical concept of tikkun, the Hebrew word for repair or rectification. We are, in fact, carrying the emotional legacies of our ancestors in our very cells. The Kabbalists knew this not through microscopes, but through a profound understanding of the soul. This is the moment where we must pause and re-examine our own story. That profound challenge your child faces, the one that tests your limits every single day. What if it is not their flaw, but your family's sacred opportunity? The anxiety that runs through your lineage, manifesting in your child's sensitive nervous system. The unspoken grief of a lost ancestor, manifesting in your child's deep melancholy. The suppressed anger of generations past, manifesting in your child's fiery outbursts. The mystics would tell you this is no coincidence. It is a sign of the immense trust the universe has placed in you. It is a testament to the strength your soul was known to possess, even before you were born. The difficulty of your child's journey is not a measure of your past failures. It is the clearest indication of your soul's immense and present power. So if your child is the brave emissary who has come to break the chains of the past, if they are the catalyst for a healing that will echo forwards and backwards through time, then what is the message they carry? What wisdom do they bring, not just from your ancestors, but from your ultimate home, among the stars? Let us now lift our gaze from the earth, from the intricate histories of our family lines, and look toward the stars. For some ancient traditions revealed that the soul of our child is not just a traveler through time, but an emissary from a place beyond time. The ancient Gnostic mystics taught that we are all born with a profound spiritual amnesia. We arrive in this world trailing memories of a boundless, luminous reality, but we quickly forget. We forget our divine origin. We forget the pneuma, the indestructible spark of God that lives at the core of our being. A child who is deemed difficult by the standards of this world, one who is less attached to social norms, less concerned with fitting in, is often simply a soul who has forgotten less. They act as a direct emissary from our cosmic home, a living reminder of a purely spiritual reality. Their apparent strangeness is not a deficit. It is a sign of their allegiance to a different set of laws. They are a compass needle, pointing insistently not toward the magnetic north of this world, but toward the divine source from which we all came. Shamanic traditions the world over echo this sentiment. They revealed that these children are often ancient souls, ancestral spirits returning to the family tribe, not to live an ordinary life, but to fulfill a sacred role. They come to be what is known as a wounded healer. Their wound, their challenge, is not their tragedy. It is their medicine. It is the very instrument of their power. Their presence, in all its difficulty, is designed to bring the family, the community, back into balance. They are the catalyst whose own journey of healing heals everyone around them. Here we find a profound archetype, a wise moment, known to many ancient cultures. It is the archetype of the sacred fool, or the Heyoka of the Lakota tradition. The Heyoka is a contrarian spirit, one who does things backward, who speaks in riddles, who seems different to the linear mind. But their purpose is sacred. Through their unconventional perspective, they shatter our rigid assumptions and reveal a deeper truth. Is it possible that the child whose behavior seems so oppositional, so wrong, is in fact playing the role of a sacred fool for your family, lovingly disrupting your comfortable illusions to make way for a more profound wisdom? The great American philosopher and mystic Ralph Waldo Emerson touched upon this very truth. He taught that the individual soul has a direct line to the divine, and that to be truly great, one must often be misunderstood. His philosophy of transcendentalism was a reminder that society often corrupts our innate wisdom, and that it is in nature and in the purity of an unfiltered soul that we find our greatest teacher. Your child, in their raw and authentic state, may be the most potent transcendental teacher you will ever encounter, offering a direct connection to the universal truths that the rest of us have learned to ignore. So we see the picture coming into focus. The soul of your child is the alchemist, transmuting karma in the crucible of family. It is the chain breaker, liberating the ancestors from their unresolved pain. And it is the emissary, reminding you of the stars from which you came. If all these sages from all these ages saw honor, purpose, and sacredness in this profound bond, what is the final unifying revelation they all left for us to discover? We have walked together through the ancient halls of wisdom, from the crucible of the alchemist, to the quiet contract of the chain breaker, to the starry message of the emissary. We have seen how different sages, separated by oceans of time and culture, all pointed toward the same sacred truth. And now we arrive at the great convergence, the final unifying revelation. It is a truth so simple and yet so profound that it has the power to reframe everything. The unanimous discovery of the sages is not just that there is a purpose inside your struggle. It is that the struggle itself is the measure of the purpose. The difficulty of the bond is the undeniable indicator of its sacredness. The universe in its infinite wisdom does not test its greatest sailors on calm seas. A soul on an easy assignment does not forge a legendary guardian. The sheer intensity of your journey, the weight you feel in your bones, the exhaustion that meets you at dawn, these are not signs that you have been abandoned. They are the evidence of the profound importance of your mission. And here lies the great shift in perception that the mystics of all ages are inviting you to make. What you are experiencing is not a test. A test implies a possibility of failure. A test is a judgment. This is not a test, it is a coronation. It is a silent, sacred crowning. It is the universe, the source, God itself, placing a crown of immense trust upon your soul. It is a recognition of a strength you agreed to carry long before you took your first breath. The most challenging contracts are not given to the weakest souls. They are bestowed upon the strongest. The most complex and demanding missions are not assigned to the novices. They are given to the masters. The presence of this extraordinary soul in your life is the universe acknowledging that you have the capacity to hold one of the most sacred flames in existence. The flame of a soul who has come to heal, to teach, and to love in the most radical of ways. So feel the weight of this journey. Do not deny it, but understand what it truly is. The difficulty is not your burden. It is your crown. This great revelation, this shift from seeing your journey as a test to embracing it as a coronation, is not merely an intellectual concept. It is meant to be felt. It is meant to be lived. And so, the sages did not just leave us with wisdom. They left us with practices, ways to bring this profound truth into the fabric of our daily lives. The most powerful practice is often the most simple. It does not require a special room, or a specific time, or any elaborate ritual. It requires only your willingness to shift from doing to being. We will call it the soul gaze. Once a day, perhaps for only 60 seconds, find a moment to simply be with your child. This is best practiced in a quiet moment when the demands of the world have momentarily ceased. Let go of the agenda of the parent. Release the need to manage, to teach, to correct, or to fix. Put down the heavy crown of responsibility just for this single minute. If you can, sit quietly and look into your child's eyes. If that isn't possible, simply rest your gaze upon them. Try to see beyond the personality, beyond the diagnosis, beyond the behavior that challenges you or the milestone that worries you. Look past the label of my child and see the ancient, timeless being that resides within. In the silence of your own heart, ask a gentle question, not with your voice, but with your intention. Ask, who are you really? What is the message your soul has for mine? Do not search for an answer in words. The soul does not speak in the language of the mind. Instead, simply be present and witness. Notice what you feel. A flicker of an old, familiar love. A sudden wave of compassion. A sense of peace that defies circumstance. Your only task in this moment is to receive. This is the art of transforming care into communion. The world will demand that you manage your child's life, but your soul invites you to witness their being. This simple practice, repeated over time, begins to dissolve the walls of frustration and anxiety. It softens the edges of the struggle. It reminds you, on a cellular level, that you are in the presence of not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be honored. It is a daily act of remembering the sacred appointment your souls made with each other long ago. And so, we arrive at the end of our journey together, only to find ourselves at a new beginning. The sages of all ages, in their myriad voices, have revealed a single, luminous truth. You have not been cursed with a burden. You have been blessed with an honor. The profound honor of guarding and walking beside a master disguised as your child. There is an old mystic proverb, whispered through time, that says, "The heaviest souls are given to the strongest angels to carry." Remember, you were not chosen for this sacred role because you were already perfect. You were chosen because this soul bond is the very thing that will lead you to your own perfection. In the comments below, we invite you to perform a small act of alchemy. Instead of describing a challenge, share one single word that describes the unexpected gift the soul of your child has brought into your life. Let us transform this space into a living testament to the hidden power in these sacred bonds. Your word may be the revelation another guardian needed to read today. And if you felt seen, if you felt understood in the depths of your being, join our community of mystic sages to continue the journey. For the path of the guardian is not a lonely one. It is a path walked by the strongest souls throughout all of time.